Okay, this is probably the first video on my podcast that I'm doing on this topic, but this is what my podcast consists of: pro wrestling, video games, media, and things like that. I love anime, I love video games, I love Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and things like that. So, one thing about me, y'all are gonna get content in regards of things in that nature. So, without further ado, I'm going to talk to y'all about two subjects. Number one, my review of the Star Wars franchise. And number two, the Star Wars Acolyte. All right. So, first of all, I'm 32 years old. I didn't quote unquote grow up on the original Star Wars movies. My first Star Wars experience was watching Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And it may not be like the best Star Wars movie, but it was a really good Star Wars movie. Simply because, to me, just to me, in my opinion, the best Star Wars villain next to Darth Vader isn't Emperor Palpatine. It was Darth Maul. I'm gonna give y'all a spoiler alert. I'm gonna give y'all a ranking list right now, and it's gonna be a ranking list that I'm gonna end up doing really, really soon. If y'all subscribe to my channel and my podcast. All right, my ranking list of my favorite Star Wars villains of all times is going to be Darth Maul, Darth Vader, and Kylo Ren. And a lot of people going to be pissed at that. Now, everybody know I'm a huge fan of pro wrestling. And pro wrestling has had its renaissance era. It has had its good times, its bad times. It's been up and down. But when you're a fan of something, you never, ever, ever give up. So, all you OG Star Wars fans, no disrespect, but the franchise could have been done way worse. And to me, I rank the franchise as a whole and as a unit a 10 out of 10 to me. As a franchise as a whole and a unit, simply because the Star Wars franchise is never dying. You got video games, you got movies, you got card games, you have mobile games, you have a lot. I'm not ranking the god awful movies y'all label. I'm ranking the franchise as a whole as a 10 out of 10 because it's a really good franchise. And I'm loving it. And I love the Star Wars, the Rey trilogy. People hated that simply because we had a female as a fucking Jedi. And people was mad, this, that, and the fourth. But similar to wrestling fans, even even though we are living in a perfect world right now as we speak that professional wrestling is cool again, we still got people complaining. Even if somehow George Lucas returned and rebooted the Star Wars series and just continued his story, I guarantee you people are not going to be pleased. Now, I don't watch the other Star Wars series like The Mandalorian or anything like that because I'm a fan of Star Wars, but I'm like a newer fan of Star Wars because I've been watching Star Wars since the 1999. So, well, I don't know. So I can't say like I'm a hardcore fan, but my fandom goes into the lightsabers. Like any Star Wars that got lightsabers in it, I'm gonna fuck with it. I'm gonna fuck with it 100%. Star Wars episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many of them bitches is, I loved all of them. I loved them all. Episode 1 was a but I love all the Star Wars films. And to me, they were really good because you can't go wrong with the lightsaber fights. If you did the top 10 lightsaber fights, pretty sure some of y'all top tens will be from the new franchise. Just saying. Just saying. Out of my favorite Star Wars franchise, out of everything in the Star Wars franchise, my favorite part of Star Wars would be episode 2, episode 3, and Obi-Wan. I'm a huge fan of Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. I love Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader. And at the end of the day, y'all, peep this. James Earl Jones has been acting for at least 4 to 5 decades. He still plays Darth fucking Vader as a voice. So you can't go wrong with that. And James Earl Jones collecting his royalty checks, his every check. James Earl Jones is a fucking goat. And he's still living and I'm loving it. So let's get to the acolyte. Cause me, who don't know much about Star Wars, but knows a lot about WWE, I said, damn man, an acolyte, somebody that worked for um Undertaker and shit. Gotta be an OG wrestling fan. Hold on. Right quick, y'all. I'm gonna Google acolyte, meaning a person assisting the celebrant or in religious service, assistant or a follower. When I saw acolyte, when I heard the show, I literally Googled. But in Star Wars world, an acolyte is literally a person that doesn't use lightsabers or weapons to kill their prey. And I think that that right there is a really good tactic. But let's just be real. A lot of this shit in the show ain't canon. We know that. We know that. But we are in a world where movies, video games, television shows have alternate universes. So a lot of this shit that we thought that was canon still may be canon, but alternate universe. And I feel like every television show, fantasy like something like Star Wars, Avengers, The Flash, Arrow, um, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, whatever you name. These franchises have a huge fan base, and fans get pissed when we change when people tweak some up. But I feel like it's alternate universes. So I had that mindset. It's like, okay, it's owned by Disney, and we know Disney tends to kind of fuck up shit. Or we're in a world now where we into alternate universes and shit. So this may be an alternate universe. And with the reveal of the Sith Lord or whatever, who knows if this guy may be an actual Sith? It was a lot going on in episode 5. It was a lot going on. But when those Jedi's got all their asses whooped by fucking Kumar, Quamar, that shit was funny. It was really, really funny. Like that shit was funny. Like they all got their ass whooped. And I don't recall a whole bunch of Jedi's jumping one motherfucker and getting their ass whooped. And then the master has a secret and this, that, and the fourth. It was a lot going on in the series. But I feel like it's going to be really, really good to have that. And a lot of people are mad of the LGBT cast, this, that, and the fourth. And I feel like if I'm watching a TV show, I've said this before in one of my podcasts when I reviewed the Chucky series, I'm getting tired of the LGBT trope being pushed and shoved upon our throats. Like me, I'm part of the LGBTQ circle, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G, I, whatever community. But that isn't my gimmick. I don't showcase that because that's not me. That doesn't define me. I'm in the process of writing a fucking phenomenal television series right now. And I got like 1 or 2 characters in the show that's LGBTQ, but it's not forcing it. And I think that people are tired of it, even people of the LGBTQ community. And it's annoying because I don't want to watch Star Wars and see a gay character. I don't want to watch Chucky and see a gay character. I don't want to see, I want to watch X-Men 97 to see a gay character. And I feel like the times we're living in, they got to just fucking force that trope amongst people about being gay or being black or whatever. When the show came out, the trailer came out, people was pissed off about the fucking black hairstyle that the guy had. Then weeks prior, people was mad about the new Assassin's Creed with the guy with the black hair or Spider-Man with the black hair. At the end of the day, man, I wish as fans we could stop being in a wrestling world marks complaining about everything. And one thing my therapist said to me about something, because I worked at a toxic job, and I'm gonna summarize it right here. She said, write down the good things and the bad thing about the job. Write the good things and bad things about the things. Look at Star Wars. Write down the good things about Star Wars. Write down the bad things. But overall, the franchise as a whole, it's a really good franchise. But I just feel like they shouldn't force the agenda amongst people of the LGBT thing. Because nobody want to watch that shit when they watch Star Wars. But the series isn't that bad at all to me. It's entertaining. And people was complaining a while back about having a black, like people was complaining about like not having a black Jedi. Now we have a black Jedi or black Sith. What, I don't fucking know. It's a lot going on because I don't know if May and her sister is a Sith. It's a lot going on in the show. But to have a lead actress once again in a Star Wars series, that's good. Because in Obi Wan, many people was hating off fuck, what's that name? The black chick from Obi Wan. I gotta look it up. Hold up. See, I hate when I do a live video and the Reva. People was pissing and shitting on Reva when she was in the episode. It's like, oh god, another black person or a black woman. She's a Sith. This or she works for the da 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 da. Man, at the end of the day, man, this chick literally hated Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, for murdering her fucking friends. And she tried to betray him. And one thing we know about Darth Vader, you can't fucking betray his ass because he gonna fuck you up. But it just pisses me off if it's a woman or a black person in the role. People want to shit on it. But regardless of that, I do feel like the acolyte is gonna it's gonna break canon in Star Wars. But also I feel like it's gonna have some shit that's gonna be pretty dope. Because the reasoning of killing the Jedi's isn't a bad thing. And who knows who the apprentice may be. We may think it's the master. We may think it's Kwamar. At the end of the day, man, we in episode 5. We got 4 more episodes left. And with episode 5 being a episode that's similar to a season finale, I think that something big is gonna happen. I think something big is gonna happen. There's gonna be a whole bunch of twists and turns. There's gonna be a whole bunch of reveals. And we gotta throw the canon shit out of the window because these days I don't even give a fuck about what's canon and non-canon because there's so many movies and TV shows that get rebooted, revamped, and everything. However, similar to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Marvel Universe, it's another universe. So think about it like that. Remove the canon in your about the Sith Lords, about the Jedi not killing people, or this, that, and the fourth, or having a dark apprentice, or Padawans, or Chewbacca, or whatever the fuck you think about in Star Wars. Remove that out of your head and think of an alternate universe, because an alternate universe can change things. And one thing about Disney or somebody buying a franchise, if they are milking money off these franchises, I'm not gonna sit here and cap, but eventually all this shit is gonna tie into one thing, tie into one fucking universe. And I guarantee you, we're gonna have an Avengers level Star Wars film coming really, really soon. Mark my words. Today is June 26, 2024. Remember this podcast. It's gonna be some type of Star Wars movie where every fucking story from the original 77 to the 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027 series tie in. Because 1977 was when Star Wars came out. And I'm pretty sure we gonna have something big coming really, really soon. Hold up. 2027 minus 1977 is 50. I feel like we're gonna have something pretty dope in Star Wars, bro. Let me see when the first Star Wars came out. Double check. Yep, Star Wars: A New Hope came out in 1977. So you don't think in 2027, 3 years from now, they don't have something big planned? I feel like we will. I feel like we will. It's similar to X Men's Days of Future Past, which is my favorite X Men movie, where we all assume that the future X Men and the James McAvoy X Men from First Class, those kids, all of them are fucking join forces together. And lo the fucking do, we had a similar crossover. It wasn't a crossover, but it was kind of a crossover. Or how we had Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland in Spider Man Far From Home, or No Way Home, whatever the fuck you call it. We're in a franchise world now where that shit can happen. We're in a world where they're gonna put Transformers supposed to do some type of crossover really, really soon. But overall, I know in 2027, all these Star Wars franchises, these movies, these video games, all this shit is gonna tie into something. They're gonna tie us into something. From the video games to the movies to everything. Somebody got something planned. And if not, shit. If I be successful and make some money, I'll buy the fucking franchise or shit. I ask Disney to hire me and I'll write a really dope ass Star Wars story that tie all this shit together. But at the end of the day, 2027 is coming really, really, really soon because time is going by fast. So, yeah. If you like my content, subscribe. The Real MJ on YouTube, TheReelMJ. And then podcast wise, Built on ENT on all streaming platforms. Thanks. Have a great day.